We've got our slopes working and we've polished up our movement a little bit. In this lecture, we're going to do a bit of review. We'll do input, we'll alter the input map, and we'll also be learning about inherited scenes. Let's get started. So first, what we're going to want to do is come into our project settings and click on the input map tab right here. And we can use we've been using these actions that are already built in that come set up in Godot. We're going to add some extra buttons that we can use for those as well. We've got left here, so we'll add a new one. We'll do a key, and then we'll do A, the A key. We'll come here to right. We'll do key, we'll do D, up, we'll do W, and down, we'll do S, which that doesn't matter as much. But that adds those keys to those actions. So you can have multiple keys bound to multiple actions. So now when we run the game, we can use WASD to control our character and move around in this room. So another thing that I want to do is add a coyote jump to the character. You can see right when we leave this edge here, if we try and jump, our character won't. It feels a bit bad. Doesn't really feel that great. So let's add coyote jump. And this is actually pretty easy, which is convenient. We'll add a new timer. And this timer, we'll call it coyote jump timer. We'll set the wait time to 0.2 and we'll set it to 1 shot. So it'll fire once and then it won't continue to repeat. Once we've done that, we can come down, all the way down to the bottom here. Well, we need to get access to it first. So up here we'll do on ready var coyote jump timer equals coyote jump timer. So we'll get access to it. And then in our jump, we'll say if we're on the floor, or coyote jump timer dot time left is greater than 0. Like that. So if it's greater than 0, then we've still got time left to be able to jump. And finally, we have our just left ground right here. And in this, we can set our coyote jump timer if we've just left the ground, or just start it, because we already set how much it should, how much time it should have. So we can just do coyote jump timer dot start. And now we should get a little bit of a leeway there when we leave our edges to jump. And that's a real big deal for helping platformers feel good. And it's really easy to implement in Godot. And you can choose and alter how much leeway you want to give. I found 0.2 is pretty good. You might go less time maybe, or more. I don't know. It depends on what you like, but you can change that. Okay, now we're going to learn about inherited scenes. So we're going to be creating a small dust effect for each time our character takes a step. And we're going to create an effect scene. So let's create a new scene. And this scene is always going to have a sprite and an animation player. So we'll give it a sprite, and we'll also give it an animation player. Oops, but we want this to be under effect, not under sprite. Okay, we'll save this inside of effects. Now we've created this base scene. Now we can inherit from this base scene to get a sprite and an animation player every time. That way, each time we create a new effect, we don't have to give it a sprite and an animation player again. We can just use our inherited scene and it will come with the sprite and animation player. So we'll close out of this scene. We'll do scene, new inherited scene, come into effects and choose effect. And we'll need to name this. We'll rename this dust effect, like this. For the sprite, you can see we can alter these still. So even though they're kind of grayed out like this, telling us that they're inherited from the parent scene, we can still change them. So we can change their properties over here. So we can come over into effects and get the dust sprite and attach that to our sprite. Come into animation, give it 3 H frames. We can come into our animation player, add a new animation. We'll call it animate. Give it 0.3 here for the time. We'll zoom in a bit. And then we'll click on sprite and we'll key these frames. Oops. Let's key the first frame. Go over one. Key the second frame. Then key the third frame. So we've got a nice little animation for our dust particle. And then the very last frame, we're going to add a track. Add a call method track. Click dust effect up here. Insert a key, and we'll choose cue free. So we can call the cue free method on this frame to destroy the particle. We also want this animation to autoplay, so we'll click autoplay on load. And we can save this inside of effects as well. Save. And we'll give it a little bit more variance so that the dust doesn't just animate in the same spot, so that it moves around while it's animating. So we'll attach a script to it right here. Should be called dusteffect.gd. We'll give it a motion equal to vector 2.0. Well, actually, vector 2. We'll give it these random ranges, -10, -40. Yeah, we can just do it all right there. So our x will be -20 to 20. It'll randomly choose a value between these two. And our y will be -10 to -40, which will always be up. So this dust particle will always go upwards. And then we'll call the process function, and we'll do position plus equals motion times delta, like that, and save. Finally, we need to create this dust particle, so we'll come back to our player script, and we'll get access to it first. So we need to come up to the top, do const dust particle equals preload, or dust effect preload was working, it stopped. Darn it. Dust effect.tscn. There we go. I didn't want to type it all out. Once we have that, we can come down and create a new function here. We'll call this create dust effect. And inside of here, we'll get the position we want to create our dust effect on. If you look at our player, click up here on 2D, you can see that our origin is actually at the base of the player, so we can just create it at the origin. But we'll get our global position. So var dust position equals global position. But we're going to modify it just a bit. So we'll say dust position dot x plus equals rand range -4 and 4. That way we can alter where it's created by a slightly random amount. And we'll say var dust effect equals dust effect.instance. We've done this before. This is review for you. We're going to be instancing this on the main scene. Get tree.current scene.add child dust effect global position equals dust position. There we go. Now that we have this convenient little function for creating the dust effect, we can do that in certain places. So we'll start by doing it whenever we land. We already have a case for that down here. So we can say create dust effect whenever we land. We can also do it when we jump. So just left, well, we could do it when, let's not do it when we jump yet. But we'll want to do it when we're running. So come to our sprite animator, come to our run, and then on each frame where we're just standing there, we'll want to call this method. Call method, player, insert key, create dust effect. And then over here, insert key, create dust effect as well. So each time our character stops like that, it'll create a dust effect. Let's check our output here. We'll just clear these. It must have been having issues when we were trying to get access to stuff. Now you can see, create little dust effects, and also we create one on landing. And that's going to be convenient for when we create future effects, because each time we create a new effect, we can inherit from our base effect scene and already have the sprite and animation player nodes added to the scene, because we're always going to need those for our effects. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one.